Hey Carl, can you hear me? Let me see if I have to unmute you.
Hey.
Perfect, you're here. Yeah, so this will be the first time that I'm going to use Zoom, and I have some automatic note taker, and it will be recorded two ways or two times with different tools. So let's see how everything works. I hope everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
And also welcome to the rest who are watching this video later on. Yeah, Carl, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Sorry.
So my name's Kyle, currently in Dubai. I've been out here for 10 years, originally from the UK, work within the sport industry at the moment.
Okay, cool. So yeah, today what I want to do is, let me just share my screen, then I can show it. Let me share my screen now. Yeah, I should have prepared a little bit better. Perfect. Okay. Nope. Yeah, I think you should see my screen now, right?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Okay, perfect. How do I get this away again? Do you see the control panel here?
Yes, I can see the tabs at the top. I can't
Do you have
see,
any Do you have any idea how to get rid of them?
I think there's like a minimize section.
Don't see it, but yeah, I should have really prepared and tested out, but I have really no time actually. Let's just go over things. I don't really care about this actually. So what I want to do today is just introduce a little bit the program itself, and then we go over Apollo and Appify, and then we run through the two tools. And in the end, the goal is actually for everyone to be able to run Apollo to create a base lead list, and then an Apify actor on top of that. So after that, you have, for example, your list of domains. Then you can run it into an Apify actor to get more information. And this will be
Sorry.
what you'll be doing on your website also later on. Yeah, so we just go for the business model itself. So what kind of website are we really building? Because there's a little bit of confusion among the participants, I think. So I just want to make everything really clear about this. Then we just go over the tools itself. So Apify, get response, I will not really show today. We will do that in future sessions. I'll just go over at least why we're going to use it, what it will do, etc. Of course, you need your domain name and hosting, and then later on we're gonna run Google Ads, but I will just go over the whole process later on. Let's see the training program structure and the support that you will get. I'll also go over that. So yeah, what is the business model itself? The best thing is probably to show it with a website. Now I really want to get rid of this. I wish someone was here. Who knows this? So annoying. Maybe if I click here, at least it goes down. Okay, at least that will work. I'll just go to show a website as an example of a similar type of website that we will be building. Because what do? We're going to create, of course, a website where your visitors can download leads for them, and it will be automatically actually sent to their email. Could also that it will be downloaded directly, but in most cases that is kind of impossible because it takes a little bit of time for the web scraper to actually take the leads. So normally it will take, for example, here, it will take, they say, on average 12 minutes, which is kind of correct in most cases. So what kind of business do we run? So we will make a website where the visitor goes, they fill in some information on a form, and then later on they get what they want. So a list of leads for whatever kind of purposes. I will show later in the Apify store, like what kind of leads people could create. And the goal of this session is actually for people to be able to play around a little bit with it. Apify gives you $5 in credit for free every month. So you can run some of these actors and just get a little bit of, yeah, just get some suggestions and ideas and some inspiration, and maybe people will already come up with really good ideas for their websites. So I think this will be really valuable before people are going to do the niche research, that they already have some ideas and they just get more and more ideas. And then I want people also to go into the mighty networks and communicate together and see like if they can help each other out, like to get better ideas. Because yeah, most people are not marketers, so I think it's really important to just play around, help each other out, communicate and engage with each other, and just see what kind of ideas you can come up with. Now I'll just show a little bit of an example website. So this is called Instant Apollo Leads. It's kind of famous among marketers. What they do is they just export the Apollo leads, and Apollo is a platform where you can have like a base lead list. Their information comes mainly from LinkedIn. So they'll have all kind of companies and the contact person within a company, and you can get their contact details. And this website makes it possible to extract these leads cheaper than if you use Apollo itself. And I'll show you why that is a little bit later on. So for their customers, they will go on the website, they pay $5 per 1,000 leads. You get a little bit volume discount if you add more. So essentially it is a visitor fills in their name, they give an Apollo link, and I will show you later how that works, and then choose the amount of leads that they want, and then you get a discount above 10,000 leads. And as you can see, you can even do 1,000,000 leads, which is quite rare. Not many people will have a 1,000,000 leads, but it's possible. They fill in an email, maybe discount code, and then they can validate the emails with Million Verifier. And this is for cold email outreach. So if you want to send out mass emails, then you want to make sure that the email addresses are verified, so that they're not like unused or not in use anymore, or that there may be like a catch-all email, which will lead you into spam. And so if you do a cold email outreach campaign as a marketer, you want to make sure that you're not going to be in a spam box, or that you're going to be blacklisted and be added to a spam list, because then your domain that you're using to send out these emails is kind of useless for the future. So then they have to spin up another mailbox. This is really not that important for us. Okay, so yeah, they just fill it in, they place an order, they pay the money, and within on average 12 minutes, they will get it in their mailbox. And that's kind of the whole process. So what is Apollo? This is where you just get the base list, so to speak. So I'll show you that a little bit. You can sign up for a free account. You don't have to pay anything, and you can keep using a free account for Apollo, because the exporting of the lists will be done with an Apify actor, and that's actually where you start paying for it. If you have a paid account for Apollo, you actually have to pay a good amount of money to export contacts. So that's why you don't want to do that. On this website, you saw that they ask for a link, an Apollo link. In your case, if you build your website, you don't have to ask this from people. You're gonna run an actor and you maybe ask for, let's say, a Google Maps link or search or something totally different. It really depends on your website and what kind of information you're gonna give to your clients. What kind of input would be here. Instead of an Apollo link, it would be something totally different. But you will get it later on. And for now, this will be something that I'm going to teach in future lessons. So for now, this is all not that important. I just want you all to understand like what is Apollo and what are these Apify actors. So in Apollo, it's just actually a giant database of all contact details and company information from LinkedIn. That's essentially what this is. So here you have all kind of filters. And the ones that will be interesting is, for example, country. You can do it city, state, zip code. You can exclude locations. So, for example, you can exclude certain states if you want, whatever it is. There's a location for contact and for account headquarters. So this means the contact person that you're going to get the information from. So you see here, Carl Nielsen, executive coach at the Nielsen Group. That's the contact. If you go for account headquarters, you can then filter by state and stuff for where the company is located. It's actually important that you, instead of, so if you go start with Apollo, you can choose companies or people. You would regularly want to go for people because that is mostly the Apify actor for Apollo works with the people search. So yeah, just make sure that you click here on people first, and then you go over here, filter it down. So so all the other things here is not important for us. So now you have here your filters. You can, for example, say, okay, we have already the country selected, which is going to be United States. I'll just go headquarters just to make it more clear. Because sometimes a person can, of course, for example, work in Dubai, but you want only the companies from the US. So you would just start here and you will say, okay, I don't know, United States. That's most use case will be United States for us. And I'm not sure why, but with me, Apollo became really slow. So every time I put a filter, it takes actually a while before it does. With other people, sometimes it seems to be a lot faster. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe my computer is slower. I have no idea, but it is a web-based thing, so it should not be the case, but I have no idea what it is. So hopefully for you, it will be faster than for me, because I really get annoyed with this. It could also be my browser, actually. Okay, so now we have here United States. Now we can go a little bit deeper. So as you can see here, there are 59 million results. So that means there are 59 people within the United States that we can contact. So let's say we want to have, so we chose account headquarters. So this means the company is in the United States that we're going to look for. Now we can say how many employees are there within the company, because that might be important, right? Maybe we only want to have smaller companies to target. Maybe we want to have the large enterprise companies, so we can filter that. We can also do on industry and the keywords. Buying intent signals. I'll not really cover that, but that means that there's some information that shows that people are interested in a certain service or product, or maybe they have, actually we can read it also, but it could, for example, mean that there's a news article that they just recently got funded, and they know this based on some updates on LinkedIn or whatever. Okay, so let's just make a selection first. As you can see here, this is how many people would be under this filter. So if it's a company with 1 to 10 employees, we're gonna have 6 million people left. If we have 11 to 20, it's gonna be 3 million. We can also do a custom range. So we can, let's say 1 to 15, for example. It's really annoying because once I press on something, it's going to try to update directly, and for me it takes so long, and I really hate it. And I really hope for you guys this is not the case. Then there are some other information. This is at the paid versions. So I logged into a free account just for this training purpose. You have scores, territories, technologies, and technologies. They use actually an app that some people may be familiar with, Build With. And Build With is also a website that you can use. You can have a Chrome extension, and it lists the technologies used on a web page. So, for example, it might be that you can check for Google Tag Manager, or they use WordPress for their CMS or for their website, and all kind of other stuff. You can have revenue, so you know how much funding, like if they got funded, etc. Maybe if there's new job posting, which could be interesting for, let's say, if you are a software company and you have a certain piece of software, and now you know that there is a job opening, and that means that maybe it's a new job opening, so a new position within the company, which signals that they might need your software. So that could be valuable information, but actually all this information is not that great compared to other options out there. So later on, if you do real lead generation on a little bit higher level, you would actually go for other data providers to figure this kind of stuff out. For us, we just want to have a base lead list and then use that later on within Apify. Okay, so we just now have a list of companies here, contact persons. Okay, now we can also say job titles. This is kind of important, right? So let's say we only want to have the CEO of the company. So let's go for this. And as you can see here, we have 7.8 million left after the filters. So I think we start with 59 million. Now we are left with 7.8 million. And why is that? Because we have United States, the people are in the United States, the company is located in the United States, and it's 1 to 15 employees only. You can either search for job titles, so it's really specific job title, or you can say management level. Sometimes that will be good enough. So let's say you only want to have the owners of a company. You can also go for founder, C-suite, partner, VP, head, director or manager, senior positions, entry-level positions, or interns. Maybe for some reason you want only the interns within a company, which would be weird, but could be. Owner is most of the time interesting, especially if it's like a small company, right? From 1 to 15 employees, the owner probably picks up the phone himself, or he replies to emails. Okay, so now we have only 745,000 people left. This is already a really big list. This is not really, it's not filtered down that much. What we could do is, I don't know. I don't really have an example actually for what we're looking for. But let's just try something. Let's go into industries, which is also important. And then after that, we just want to create a list within Apify. So now we can search here for industries. Let's say construction companies. Maybe that's an interesting one. They do have a quite, it's not that big actually, the selections that you can make for industries, because they sort of group them together, probably for them to make it easier to have this, because there are so many industries, and they, for some reason they just chose to group them together. Maybe for their scraping purposes, getting it from LinkedIn, that will be more easy. I'm really not sure why they chose this, but it is what it is. So now you have construction companies. We have 66K people left. I want to niche it down a little bit more. So what we could do is keywords, for example, within on LinkedIn, because this is where all the information is coming from. Companies, most of the time they have keywords, and it could be anything. So within construction, I'm not really familiar with construction companies, but maybe it's like a brand name, maybe some tools that they're using or something like that. So I don't know, let's say Makita, I guess. Maybe that will come up. I'm not sure. We'll just edit and see what will come out. And with almost all these filters, you can say also exclude or include stuff. It's the same goes for example, within job titles, you can say exclude certain job titles. Locations, you can just exclude the location. Okay, so now we only have 3 people left. This is not really that much, so that kind of sucks. So let's just take this away. And yeah, most of the time you just play a little bit around with this. And do you have any suggestions what we could look for some keywords to include, which will generate maybe, I don't know, maybe 5K in results? Paul, do you have any ideas?
Machinery.
Okay. Let's go. By the way, if I go too fast or you have any questions, just chime in, please.
Yeah, I just don't know a lot of construction.
Okay. And about other stuff, like any kind of questions you have when I'm just explaining stuff and you want to have something more clear, just please let me know. You can always just jump in. You don't have to let me talk. You're free to just give your opinion or your feedback or ask any questions you want. I'll
So
go.
all of this at the moment for Apollo, this is the paid subscription, right?
No, so I'm just using the free version on purpose for now. And anyone here who's listening to the podcast, listening to this, you can just create your free account on Apollo and do exactly what I've just done. And the same goes later for Apify. I'm using a paid account because it just logged me into it. I could actually just create like a new account, but it doesn't really matter. You just get $5 for free with Apify. So I would suggest everyone to just sign up for the free account and you can just use that. You have $5 for free. Okay, so I'm now going to do the range up until max 3 people within the company. So this will be really small companies, and as you can see, it will turn into 30K. So what if we just do only 1 employee? So the customer is just 1-to-1. Because I want to have a little bit small lead list so that I can download it faster. Otherwise, I can also just say I'm only going to do like download like an X amount of things. For some reason, it just kept me there. Okay, so every time I put in a filter, this link here, so the URL changes, and you can see it here. So there's some logic behind it that we can actually decipher. So if you want to create, and we're not going to do it, but just to explain it, Apollo here has like a link, right? And if I was their website, Instant Apollo Leads, I wouldn't ask, because now they're limited to people who know Apollo, right? So they're limiting themselves for only people who already use Apollo and just want to download it really cheap because they don't know the Apify actor, which is kind of, I don't know. If I was the marketer, I would just search a little bit and then I would be able to use Apify, but for some reason they don't do it and they go to this website. So they fill in here the Apollo link, which is literally just this URL. There is some logic behind it. So if you're going to create a similar website like this, but you want people to just click filters, then you could have some mechanism where it automatically generates the URL. So people don't have to fill the URL, but instead of the Apollo link, people might click on industry 1 to 3 people, blah, 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 blah. And then you would generate, without your visitor knowing it, would generate a link, something like this, because actually all the information is here, as you can see. It says here locations, United States, right? And seniority level is owner. Organization, industry, there's an ID for it. See, there's an ID here, and that probably says industry construction. Employee range 1 to 3, and so on. So this is your link. This is also what you will use in your Apify actor. So just go to Apify, and I'll just give a little bit of an explanation of what Apify really is. So Apify is just a platform where either Apify build it or other people build scrapers, web scrapers. And web scrapers essentially just take information from a website. It's a little bit how you can see it, or from a platform. I use a bunch of with this account. I can just show you what kind of actors I've been using. I have a Google Ads scraper, and this is the same thing. It's a Google Ads Transparency. Google Ads Transparency Center is a place of Google, a website where you can see who runs advertisement. So you can fill in a domain name of a company, and it will show you the company's recent ads that they've been running on Google. This is an actor that I built myself. It failed last time, but it's actually working. But long story short, it doesn't really matter. Spyful is something to get information from SEO companies. It's another Google Ads scraper that didn't really work. So sometimes they don't work or they're in updates. Yeah. Then I have here an Apify scraper, Apollo scraper, 50k leads. It says here failed, but that's actually because I tested something out. This one works perfectly. It actually always works. Then there's another Apollo scraper, and that's from the same guy, as you can see here, Code Crafter. And yeah, so with this account, I just used a few scrapers. I have a few other accounts for Apify. I'll just go over the store and then can show you different types of scrapers that are in use. If we go to social media, for example, for a lot of people, this will be interesting. And then Apollo doesn't really matter actually, because a YouTube scraper, for example, you can crawl all kind of videos on YouTube. the Instagram scraper, you can scrape and download Instagram posts, profiles, places, hashtags, whatever. I'll just open it to show a little bit what it does. So TikTok, LinkedIn, so you can see LinkedIn posts, for example. So you scrape LinkedIn posts or updates from LinkedIn post search results. And here you can see the name of the person who created the scraper. It either be Apify itself, and most of the time this one is a little bit more expensive than other ones. And there are, by the way, two different ways to pay for the service. For a scraper, you either rent a scraper per month for a fixed price, or you pay per result. And I'll just show you later what it really means. So these are just the social media scrapers. Then let's go another category. What could be a good one? Let's just go for SEO tools. And after that, I will do news. So this is, for example, Google search results. So you can scrape the search results, which is called SERPs or SERPs. So that means search engine result pages. And you can have any kind of search term, and then it will just scrape all the results from it. You can use this one, and then in combination with another scraper that will maybe get from all the results that you get here, that you then go over all these websites to get the email addresses from the pages of these websites. So that's another scraper that you could use. This is by the way built with that I just talked about before. So you can find out what websites are built with, the technologies. So what kind of tools they're using on their website. This could be really useful for, let's say, marketing agencies that offer a certain service that, I don't know, what could be a good example? Yeah, let's say WordPress. Like, okay, this website is built with WordPress, and you're maybe a WordPress developer, or you're maybe good in making websites faster that run on WordPress. WordPress is a web builder, by the way. It's actually CMS, but it's too much to explain. So let's say they run the website on WordPress, and you are a marketing agency, and you can speed up their website. Now, if you now use this tool, now you can do all the domains in a list. You run this Apify actor, and you search only for those who run WordPress, and now you have a list of contacts, right? So that's kind of interesting. You have a Google Maps scraper, so you can all the results from Google Maps itself. Could be useful, or maybe because I don't know, you search for a certain keyword or something like that. What else? Let's go to another category. Google Trends is actually interesting. Google Trends can be used for to figure out trends. What is this moment interesting? This we will use also with the niche research. So you want to know like what is trending, right? Like what people are searching for. So you could use this scraper to figure that out and to get information about that. Dun & Bradstreet. So they have a lot of company information. This is a database of all kind of companies, and you can get industry insight, you can financial projections, all kind of stuff. This is a really interesting database actually, and you can scrape this database with Dun & Bradstreet's scraper. Polymarket, for people who are familiar with this, there's a scraper also for that platform. If you want to scrape crypto news, there's a scraper. Ryanair, there's a scraper. There's literally, I don't know, I think they have 4,000 plus scrapers on Apify. So there's really a lot to do, and Yeah, I think people should just really go through them and just test things out, see if you get some ideas, and especially just share ideas with each other. And then you will come up with really interesting maybe solutions for what kind of lead list website you want to build. So I really suggest everyone to just go into Apollo first of all, just to get a feel about, okay, how can I create like a base lead list where I have a lot of company domain names later on that I then can run into an Apify actor. But this is not really necessary because for some of the things, as you can see already, you don't need this base lead list. You can just use an Apify actor for whatever purpose you want. Okay, let's see if
That's what
I.
I was then about to ask. I was just going to say, like, Apollo seems to just be LinkedIn contact information. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. And so for certain things, this is super useful because a lot of the time you will have, let's say, if you're working with marketing agencies or something like that, they might want to have information. For example, the Google Ads scraper that I used before. What it does, it just goes over all the domains, and then it will check if a domain has run Google advertisement, yes or no. So a client might want to say like, we are a Google advertising agency and we want to know all these companies that haven't run Google Ads yet. So give me all these companies within a certain industry or a certain region and industry, and then run them through, or give me a list of all these companies that haven't run Google Ads, and you can figure it out. So you start with Apollo, and you say, okay, for I don't know, let's say maybe it's only in one state, right? So let's say in California, I want all the companies with that are not that big, so maybe 1 to 10 employees, and I want to know if they have run Google Ads. So you would first go to Apollo, okay, that. But if you have a reason to for I don't know, let's see if I have a good example here. Let's say an Instagram scraper, right? So you maybe want to only do something with I don't know, hashtags or something like that. You want to know every influencer who uses this hashtag. Then you don't need Apollo, of course. So then you would just go directly for an Instagram scraper and then fill in here the URLs, and you can say, okay, what do you want to scrape for? So all these actors here, all the different actors, they work a little bit similar in Apify, because Apify offers a platform that anyone can build on. Normally, if you do web scraping, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So you need, for example, IP rotation and all those kind of stuff. So all those technical infrastructure details are handled by Apify itself. So if someone builds a scraper, um, it will all look the same, right? So all these options here, for example, give a list of domains, or sometimes you can upload a file. I'll just give you an example here. Hello. So I'm going to use Code Pioneer. This one is 50K leads, but you have to, I'll just show it actually. And another one that I could use is Spyful, is a good one also. So there are two Apollo scrapers from the same guy, Code Pioneer. This one is, by the way, really good. So this one you pay for the usage, right? So it says $1.20 for 1,000 leads. This one, you pay per month plus usage, and usage means the memory that you will be using from Apollo itself. Because Apollo, when it runs, it uses compute power, so to speak. So here you can actually trial all of them. So when you sign up for a free account, you can just use a free trial for almost any of those that says it costs a certain amount per month. Doesn't really matter. And then you have some usage. So you'll use some memory and then it will use some certain cost, which is not that much. So with your $5, you can actually go pretty far and test out quite some stuff. So even the one that you have to normally rent. The free trials, they sometimes it's only 1 hour. That's not really common. Up to 3 days of free trial, so you can just keep using it, and then you can like if you're on like the free plan for €5, it will not go to charge you later on. It will just stop running, so to speak. But you can also go into your actors, and then you can actually just stop renting it. And let's say, yeah, so I already used this one time before, so I cannot show this. So I have to show another one later. Then I can show you like how to rent it and then how to cancel it again. So yeah, this one you pay per month plus usage. The other one you only pay for per lead, so to speak. $1.20 for 1,000. So if you remember on Instant Apollo leads, it was $5, I think, for 1,000 leads. And I'm pretty sure that they use the Apify actor. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they use an Apify actor. So as you can see, the difference is good. It's a good margin for them, right? They pay $1.20 for 1,000 leads, and they sell it for 5. And they have a good amount of volume. I will not go over it, but you can actually test or you can actually check how much volume, or not really how much they sell, but you can see how much traffic goes to this website. So you have an idea of like, oh, they actually do good. They probably make a really good amount of money with this website. And it's all automated, right? They have to literally do nothing. Okay, so this one actually can scrape up to 50K leads, while the other scraper does a maximum of 5K per run. But this one is way cheaper. So as you can see, only max 5,000 per search, but it's way cheaper per result. I think it's so sorry. I think it's only like $70 per 5,000 leads. I think that's the price if I remember correctly. So it's really cheap, but you pay of course the 45 per month. But if you do a lot of leads per month, it is super cheap. The only limitation is then the 5,000 per search. But this is also not really bad, because if you do like a large volume, if you do this like manually, right, and not on this website, but if you do this manually, it's actually smart to do it in batches instead of do directly like 100K lists or something like that, 50Ks, because that's the max here. For many reasons, you just maybe don't want to have a really long Excel document, or because it's faster and you can split it up, because you can run the same actor multiple times. So if you want to do like 50 leads, you can also run 10 actors at the same time. It's a little bit your choice. But yeah, so you would here then have this, the Apollo URL, right? So you fill in here the URL. Then you can say, okay, maximum number of records for total. You can choose to get work emails or not. and the personal emails, yes or no. So if the emails are not important, I would just select no. So if you only go for telephone numbers, then just don't select them because it will run faster that way. Here are some run options. So the latest build means the latest actor build. So the programmer, the guy who builds these Apify actor, the Apify actor, you can also choose like the previous version of it. Normally you would always say latest, so it's not really that important. Timeout. Okay, so a timeout can result in infinite runs. If you I'm not sure if I really should explain this because people will figure it out later anyway. There could be a timeout, so it runs a certain time and then it will stop and it will stop the actor, which can be useful. If you don't, it can run indefinitely, so it can finish the whole list. Actually, this is really not that important. You can just forget about most of this. The memory here, that's kind of interesting. So here it says 256, right? You can see here the memory that you can use. Normally, I think it's 8 gigabytes. For me, it's 32 gigabytes on this account. And I pay a little bit higher price for this per month. As you can see here also, it's $2.99. This is the maximum that I set, but normally it is, I don't know, usage limit. I think it's 49 on the cheaper account that you can use with Apify. I will show you a little bit later the pricing. But it starts with $49 a month, I think. That's the cheapest. And then it goes up really high. Yeah, so the memory here is the max memory that you can use. And it depends per actor. So if I click on it, it will just show. Sometimes if I click away, then it will say, no, it's not possible. I think this one might be like 8 in total. Seems like this one doesn't really have a limit. So some of these actors, they have a memory limit. And you can maybe use maximum 8 gigabytes for the actor to run. So yeah, it really it depends on how much memory you have. And then let's say you have 8 gig, let's say I have 32, right? If I run multiple actors at the same time, I only have 30 gigabytes of max memory to use. So if I want to have 2 of them on full speed, I will choose 16 gigabytes here. And then for my other actor, I also 16 gigabytes. So like this. Then I can run 2 actors at the same time, use the maximum memory usage. The more you use, the more memory you use, the faster the scraping goes. That's the thing behind it. Okay, so I could say, normally I could say here, run the actor, but I first have to rent it, of course. Okay. I can just run here a list. So let's just go here, and I have here my list, my URL. I go into this Apollo scraper, I pay per lead. Here I can say the maximum. So let's say we just do only 1000, just to keep it simple. I'll just deselect these just to make it a little bit faster. So here's JSON. For the nerds, you can also use JSON. You can fill it in. If you want, you can actually connect it with an API. So there's a lot of different options out there. I will just not go over it now. The people who are familiar with these kind of things, they can figure this out themselves. You can also build your own actors if you go to development. That's just that's not for this training purpose. Okay, so we have this here. Let's just go run it in 32. Then we can finish it a little bit fast. Ah, annoying. Okay, so that's the maximum is 512. Now only now it shows. So this is what it is. Let's just go back. Okay. So I can say maximum charge results. Optional. Doesn't really matter because I already say I want only a total number of 1,000 records. Then I just say start and save. And now it will actually start building the actor, initializing it actually. And few seconds. You can see it in the log. So it's created a Docker image. So it now like started the actor and starts scraping. So page 100 results, page 200 results. Says 0 contacts, 100 people. Don't be scared. Can go to look in the output. So here you can already see. I will show you later in the CSV file what this all means. But we're gonna have a lot of information. When we're gonna export, we have options to also exclude stuff. If we're gonna do an automated lead list, we need to clean the data a little bit, but this is also for future lessons. So now it's just running. You can see output 1,000, so it's pretty fast, right? To get 1,000 results. Okay, so we're gonna go to the log. Here we can see it successfully fetched a total of 1,000 records. This might already input it shows you it does not. What else can I show you here? Run has ended. Move this to the top. Okay, so we have here, we can export the 1,000 results. You can choose different file formats. CSV is probably the most used. You can use this, for example, if you use Google Drive, you can convert it directly in a Google Sheet. If you use it on your computer itself, it will be faster, of course. So here you can say, okay, which fields do I want to select? So do I want to include in anything? Which stuff I'm going to exclude, that you can hear. So that's omit fields. You can exclude stuff. There are some advanced options. People can look at it. Okay, let's just download this. Yeah, I'm using Linux. It's a bit dumb. Okay, let's go downloads. New folder. I really have to figure out how to remove this. So annoying. It should be somewhere really.
I believe if you click on the green thing, you can drag it around.
Yeah, it seems like it. So at least I can put it away like this, right?
Yeah.
So where? I just want to get rid of it totally.
I
least
I
that it
thought there
only.
was like a minimize thing on it, but I haven't done that in a long time, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, me too. I haven't used Zoom for so long, and I think before there was really a button, but it's really a long time that I used whatever. Okay, so name it something. Wow. Let's open it. And if you want to go into your runs, so okay, so maybe I have to explain this a little bit. All kind of stuff that you don't really have to look at for now. With runs, you can see all the runs that you've done. So that means all the actors that you have run. So this is the latest one, right? That we just done. You can see the duration, the price that you paid for it. And then you can easily rerun certain things also if you want. Okay, now that's it for now. Okay, so go away. So as you can see, there's actually a lot of information here because most of the time it will give like things that you really don't need. So normally you would like exclude those things, right? Not a YouTube program. So this is LibreOffice. It's a free Office version for Linux. Normal people should not use this. I actually normally do everything in Google Drive, like with Sheets, Google Sheets.
I do use this as well. I just don't tend to use the Excel, mostly presentations and the writer one. That's the one I use.
Yeah, I use a lot the spreadsheets, so the sheets and Google Docs. That's the thing that I use like daily. But it's a lot slower with the really big list, so that's why I just use this now as an example because it just goes way faster. But here's the title, for example. So this is one of these things that we were looking for, right? So it says owner, president, owner. Okay. I think it's also weird. Can I delete? Okay, so state. Oh, let me see how I can just delete columns. Yeah, okay, good. Weird. This one just stayed there at the end. No, yeah, I'm perfectionistic, so I just want to really get rid of them. But I should not put, see, for some reason they stay here, which is not normal, I think. But okay, I shouldn't care about that. Yeah, photo URL. So that's the photo of the company. We really don't need that either. So we're going to delete this column. Actually, this is not really that interesting for me to go through. You just want to keep the information that is important to you, right? So for example, organization, website URL. So here you can see the URL of the companies. You can see the state, seniority level, owner, title, owner, president. Then there's a lot of information here. And company LinkedIn URL, the name of the organization. They have an ID also, so this is the LinkedIn ID, the year it was founded. You have another, one more time, the website URL. So some things are actually double. You have the organization Twitter URL, which most of the time is not really important. Telephone number. So this is a sanitized telephone number. They'll be really useful directly put into maybe your CRM or whatever.
Sorry, what does it mean by sanitized phone number?
Sanitize is that there's no spaces in between or or prefixes or some other stuff. So you would have here, this is like the unsanitized number, T dashes and whatever is inside. And this one is just cleaned, so to speak. So it's sanitized.
Right.
For like certain software tools, you need this instead of the other one because otherwise it gets confused. For example, maybe let's say in WhatsApp, maybe or whatever, then it might get confused. Or in your CRM, maybe it's not a really great CRM, and maybe it gets confused with the plus sign or whatever. And then there's a lot of in the Apollo list. There's like your history of the person. So you have like the organization that he worked for in the past. So and that's why this one is so long. Sometimes also the keywords of organizations used. So if let's say there's a company that has a lot of keywords, now all of a sudden you have like 58 keywords or more, like in the 60s even. So you don't always want to use to export all this information, as you can see. There's a lot of things that you really don't want to export because your Excel sheet is just crap. But there's always some kind of cleaning going on. But we can automate it. So we can say, for example, we always want a standard output from an Apify actor. But that's also for another lesson. Here's the headline. Now you get here information about the contact person, right? So first name, the employment history. So now it has all these companies that someone worked for before. Here you don't see it because these people didn't have so many previous companies to work for, but there's someone in the list that worked for 26 companies, and that's why there's now 26 tabs or columns. And then just because one person has so many companies, so if we scroll down, there's someone there, see, someone who did. Okay, so employment history group will far back, and the further we go back, the more people we will see. Number 6, now we get to organization number 5. So normally you would really try to exclude those kind of things because it's totally not important for most of the leads that you're going to create. Yeah, this just gives a little bit of an idea, right? So here, city, country of where the person is from, email domain catch-all. So the catch-all email is sort of a main mailbox where actually don't have to explain. It's only for if you're going to send out cold email campaigns, which we're not going to do. So yeah, as you can see, we just have a lot of data. We don't want this kind of stuff, but we do want to get, I guess, the company URLs, right? So let's just go over there. Normally, yeah, I will not go too much about filtering stuff, but we can say, for example, here, like apply filters, auto filtering, what is called this software. But now you can filter all these kind of things down. People who work with spreadsheets will know this. What I just want to do is I just want to say, okay, so now we have here a list of domain names, and there's no empty ones. Okay, good. Because later on there's some companies see that didn't have a domain name for some reason. They were just not available on LinkedIn. So a lot of the Apify actors, we probably need this information. Now I'll show you why. Okay, so we have here spiteful bulk URL. So this is another kind of actor. Oh, I actually rented this one already, so that's good. Okay, so what we can do here, instead of fill in like all these domain names by hand, we can just upload in bulk. We can, I think, up to a few thousand or something like that, and otherwise it goes a little bit crazy. And you can also sometimes in some of these actors, you can just upload a file, which is way easier, of course. Okay, so let's just test something out. I'll just get some links. So we have 28 links here. Powerful is an SEO tool. It's actually already a quite cheap SEO tool compared to other SEO tools. An SEO tool is actually just, it can give you information about the keywords that a company is using. And a keyword is something that you put on a web page and people search for a certain term, right, in Google. And then that keyword will, if you use that on your page, you will be higher ranked in Google and it will be in one of the top results if you do your SEO correctly. There's other kind of information available with SEO tools. And SEO just means search engine optimization. So you do certain things on your website and it can be on page, off page, different kind of strategies as a marketer that you can do to get higher in the Google search results. Google's the most used search engine. You can also do it for Bing or whatever. An SEO tool can do all kind of stuff related to this. So you can, for example, see the top ads that a domain is running. You can have some domain, other kind of domain statistics. You can see top competitors for certain keywords, for example. You can see the most valuable or successful keywords on the domain. So there's all kind of information that you can get about SEO. Some people are familiar with SEO, so that's pretty cool then. Let me see what else I can just show you some SEO tools as an example. So Ahrefs is a famous one. SEMrush is a famous one. And you can see the prices. Then you can see Spyful is already cheaper. That's also good information. Ahrefs and SEMrush are a little bit more quality in a way. And it's also funny that all these things are also a little bit of guesstimations in most of the cases, but I will not really go over that. So it's really interesting where they're just models that they run to assume certain data about websites, but yeah, let's not go into that. And just to get a little bit of an idea of what an SEO tool is, just learn some marketing stuff. Just go for pricing. You can be shocked at how expensive some of these tools are. And Spyful is actually kind of nice. It's pretty cheap. So you have a basic plan 39 or 79 for the professional. This one you don't have to look at. But it's then quite limited what it can do. So you, as you can see here, 10K rows of data exports, down this many keywords, domains, and ads as you would like. There are no limits to the number of results, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, actually, not go over this too much. SEO tools, just expensive tools. You can, this will be used by marketing teams or maybe a company itself. And you can get just information about a website's domain and use that information to make sure that you're better than your competition and get higher in the Google results. That's the whole goal of the game. So we have this spyful Apify actor, and we can get some information about the domains that we now just filled in. So just to get back, we used Apollo to get information about certain companies. Then we run the Apollo actor to get all this LinkedIn data actually about companies and the people within that company that you want to target. And now we run some information about their domains. And we can sell this information to, let's say, a marketing agency that does SEO optimization, right? Or maybe it does Google Ads. So these are all not really interesting. What is interesting is the country. Default country optional. So you can say, okay, this is the country that I want to get the information about this domain from. Most of the time it's America. We can just say America, United States. Now there's a few different things that you can use with Spyful. So for any actor, they have like different settings, right? For Spyful, they have an extra setting, and you can choose one of these 6 things. So maybe you want to get information about top competitors. You want domain statistics, top ads, the most valuable keywords, etc. So these are all SEO things that are kind of important. So you choose one, whatever you want. Okay, well, let's see. And it will give multiple rows of data and multiple columns. So it really, I'm not sure which one is good, but let's say get domain statistics. I guess that's a good one to choose. No, we have again run options, proxy configuration. Okay, that's kind of interesting to to talk about. You need to rotate your IP address, right? Otherwise you get banned. If you do this manually and or you build your own scraper, you have the problem that if you're going a lot of, because what it does, it goes to a certain website, right? To a certain web page. So let's say you do something with Google search results, and so that's another Apify actor, and you will go on the Google search result and you open that page many times you make a request. Then Google says, hey, this IP address is making so many requests. That's too much. That is out of the limitation of what we want. Okay, we're gonna ban you. Now you're blocked and you cannot get the information anymore. So that's why you would rotate that information. It's called proxies. There are different ones. So you have like data center. So that's it uses the data center proxies residential. So this one is the fastest, most affordable way to scrape the data. Residential, blah, blah. Almost always when you're going to use your Apify actors, you don't have to go here. This is just automatically, the default settings is good. The guy who built the actor, the Apify actor, chooses it for you already. Let's go here and let's try to make this as fast as possible because I have the memory for it anyway. Yes, perfect. So this one I can use 30 gigabytes is maximum. We have 27 domains now. So now we're going to run this Apify actor. Now we're just going to get some information about the domain. As you can see here, the memory goes to maximum. And I have to pay also some usage. Hopefully this will be fast. And as you can see, it goes to prepare actually at this moment, but it just goes over all these domains that we listed, the 27. And by the way, again, for everyone who's listening, this is just an example. So this is not for your website. This is just to show an example of how to use these scrapers. So every scraper, it will give you information of what it needs from you. For example, if you're gonna run the Instagram scraper to run posts, here it says Instagram URL you want to scrape, optional, and then you can do it here. And then what do you want to scrape from the pages? Profile mentions, details. So any actor has just other kind of input fields that you have to look at. But it's all really simple. So I think anyone within our group, everyone within our group can figure this out. Some even have like a tutorial. You can go to the information tab, which shows more information about the actor actually. So, for example, what it does, maybe some other scraping tools that they have. So this guy who built this scraper, he has also other ones. See, so the Instagram profile scraper, reel scraper, hashtag scraper, post scraper, blah, 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 blah. So for someone who's going to do something with influencers, or maybe something with marketing agencies, I want to give information about Instagram stuff. You have a lot of options already from the same guy. And sometimes you can use like information from one scraper to maybe put the profile information in another one, for example. Let's go back. This one. Let's see, where do we have it? Okay, so we have 1650 results from just these 28 things. And I showed you the spyful one because of this reason, actually. Okay. Okay. So there's all this different information about this company. So this, as you can see, this is one domain, right? And it goes, in this case, it has different months of the year. So this is 2025. See? This is 2024, month 12. And then there will be information. So this one scrapes multiple months, so to speak, of data. This is the average organic rank. I will not go really over everything, but it just shows different kind of SEO information. So you can see something about the, let's wait. Okay, so now you get a little bit of information here. Academy fans, brokers, the average ad rank is on 8. What it really means, it doesn't really matter for our case. Someone who's into SEO, they will figure it out. Otherwise, I have to explain too much things. But it just gives all kind of information about this domain. This is super useful for marketers, or maybe companies itself. They maybe want to know about themselves or their competitors. And then this Apify would be interesting for them. So this is total organic results. Let's make it a little bit. Total ads purchased. So how many ads they bought in that month. That's kind of it. What else Yeah, is this a little bit clear, Carl? Like that Apollo is just something for a basic lead list for that's just contact information from Apollo or from LinkedIn. And then within Apify, you could use this in one of the tools. So you could use it for this one, for example, right? For this SEO data. There are some other ones that you can use it for that needs like a domain information, but that you don't always need to use Apollo because it just really depends on what you want to do. So, for example, if you want to do Instagram, you really don't need that domain name. Yeah, so within Apollo, you have multiple different types of web scrapers that you can use. They're called Apify actors. And you can get different kind of lead lists built from that. I will at a later moment, so after like in the next coming days, I will go to come up with some lead list ideas myself, but I already shared that before, so I guess people could just go check that out. What I hope that people will do is just go to communicate within Mighty Networks, play around with these actors, run some of them. As I said before, you can either use this, like the free $5 that you will get, and just run something like this, and you have to pay for it, or rent an actor in the trial period, and then it's a lot cheaper, right? Because then you're only gonna pay per usage, and you can get a lot more like testing going on. And a lot of these actors, you actually just pay per month anyway. So yeah, you can just choose anything. And you with the $5, you can go pretty far with it. And if you want, you can of course always already go to pay for a subscription. But I would suggest just use the $5 wisely. Sign up for a scraper with like a monthly cost, and then just do the trial version. And it's somewhere between 1 and 3 days trial. And I'll just show you where you can just with this one I actually can show you, right? So the Spyful actor I rented, right? This cost me $12 a month. So if I go to my actor, then I can just say cancel rental. So if someone wants to cancel it, just go. You can use your trial. You can sign up for the trial version of an actor, and then when you don't want to use it anymore, cancel it. So after you play with it and you run a list, just cancel it. You can't really be charged on the $5 plan, the free plan, right? So it's a free plan, so you can never really be charged a monthly fee. You only have like the free $5 that you can use with the actor like this. And let's see how much did I pay for this one, because this is kind of expensive because it generated 1600 something results, right? So let's just go to the runs. Then we can see the price that I paid for it, for this Spyful, so you get a little bit of an idea. Well, as you can see, I only paid 20 cents. So 20 cents in total for the 1600 results. And as you can see, with the $5, you can go pretty far. You can test out many different actors and just play around with it. And here you can see what you actually pay for. So the compute units is the one that actually costs the most, and that's the memory usage. Yeah, so like I said, just try to rent a few actors, play around with it. $5 go pretty far, and then especially go into discussions and share ideas together with a group. I would also suggest everyone to just use ChatGPT or another LLM. Google is, by the way, really good nowadays. Gemini is really amazing. play around in with LLMs and ask them for like suggestions, and just say like, hey, I want to give me a list of lead lists that I could build with Apify, something like that, that I could sell, you know, good margin on it, blah blah blah. Just come up with a really good prompt, maybe share prompts also together, because the whole idea, of course, of this training program is that we all learn from each other and that we all work together to help each other out. So please try to do that, and then I think within the next few days I'll see really a lot of really cool ideas, and then we can build on top of that. And then in my next session I will go over the how to figure out which niche really works for you. How can you see the profitability? What kind of metrics do we have to track? What kind of sort of formulas can we use to calculate this? And then we get one step closer to really starting with your business. So first play around with this, talk with each other, get feedback, get some ideas, use ChatGPT, and then in our next session, I'm going to teach you how to really niche down and figure out the niche. And then I cannot check everyone's research on that, but I will make sure that I will give a lot of information and some guides to do that research really correctly. I'm working on this. Kind of, yeah. It's almost done, and I think it will be really good. And yeah, I think we can all choose something that works, so to speak. Yeah, that's kind of it, I guess, for today. I want to also clarify something about the pilot program. So people who are watching it now, some might think like, oh, I'm missing out. I don't know how to join these sessions, but these sessions are the pilot program sessions. So this is just with a select group of people that I selected based on their availability. And so yeah, you cannot join. If you're not part of the pilot program, you cannot join these sessions. After the pilot program is finished, everyone can join live sessions. I'll make sure that there's an availability for everyone on your pace. So people who only do it one time a week, it's fine. If you do a few hours, 3 times a week, that's also for you possible. I make sure that all the different time zones and all the preferences are kept in mind. So I really make sure that I do a lot of different sessions every day. There's something, and I create all these different schedules, and I'll post that before the pilot program is finished, which should take in total like 2 weeks. So like 1.5 weeks from now, I can start with all the other sessions. But for those who are not part of the pilot program watching this, you can just watch all these videos already, so you at least can get busy. And then later, when you join the live sessions, like after maybe in 2 weeks from now, when you start joining, then you will be able to you already have a lot of knowledge about this anyway. So if you watch a lot of these videos from the pilot program, then later on it will be also more easy to join and the live sessions, and it will be more easy for me to go through everything because you already know a lot of things. And that's why I also really encourage people to engage within the groups on Mighty Networks, because we can all help each other out, make it easier. Everyone really understands everything about it. And yeah, I think it will be a good experience for everyone. Especially the community aspect is the reason why I do this. So I hope that that will really get started from now on. Yeah, I'm done ranting actually. Carl, do you have any questions? Do you want to know some things or?
I don't think I have any specific questions, but I think from this, my main takeaway is that Apify seems to be the better source for everything, really, I suppose, unless it's like specific people that you need to contact a specific businesses or whatever, then Apollo would probably be the easier option.
Yeah, correct. So if you just want only like contact details for a company, then Apollo's is the option. If you want more information, you can then run like an Apify actor. If you want something totally different, that's not like just a company, some things or maybe like Instagram influencers, for example, then you can go to use an Apollo scraper. There are also other ways to get lead list information, but I don't want to use that as an example because it's a little bit outside of the scope and it's more difficult to automate certain things. Because with Apify, maybe I can also show you this. I actually forgot to do that. So there's something here in the integrations part. So you can connect an actor or a task. So you can connect multiple actors and do it based on triggers. So let's say if a run succeeded with one actor, you can maybe run another one. And you can, for example, do some integrations with API endpoints. I don't know if I have to go over it, but you can. An API is a sort of the interface of an application or a service or a software tool. So you can get information from a certain tool, or you can send information there. It's a sort of a connector, so to speak. Yeah, you have also integrations where you directly send a notification to Slack or send an email, right? So this is what we want to do. We maybe want to send an email to someone or to yourself after something is finished, or you upload a file to Google Drive. What else? Zapier. So I'm not sure if people are familiar with this, but this is an automation tool. So you can connect different kind of software normally with Zapier. So you can say like, okay, if something is done in this program, do something in the other program. Make same thing, but a little bit more options compared to Zapier. How this will work out for you for your website, I will show it in another time. This is actually pretty cool to have. So for people who are more technical, there's a lot of AI integrations also. So you can store it as a vector database, which is also Pinecone, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. LangChain is also again for vector databases. It's for AI agents if you want to build them. This is really outside of the training program, but there's a lot of integrations. The cool thing about this is you can say, okay, I have two different kind of actors that I want to use in my on my website to create a certain lead list. So let's say first do this, then go maybe clean the list because there's also an Apify actor for cleaning. Let's see if I have one. I think that will be, yeah. So this is for merging, deduplication, and transforming data sets. So you can deduplicate or merge certain things within your data set. So if you run an Apollo scraper, you maybe want to clean the list, right? Because you saw that you have like a lot of data in there. You can already say, okay, I only want these kind of data points from the list, but maybe you also want to make sure that there's no duplicates inside. So then you can use this one as a second one within an integration. And that I just show you so you can see where so you could say, okay, run first Apollo, then after that deduplicate the list, and then after that send it by email. Something like that. Or maybe go and then run the spyful actor, and after that you can send it to your client. And the more technical parts of this, I think me and other technical people within our group, I'm not sure if people are up to it, but I think we should all help each other out and we can then build like cool workflows for everyone. Because it's not that much work. So I think, yeah, I just hope that the people in our group will be able to help others out. So, for example, you, Carl, you have no idea what I'm talking about, probably the last moments, right?
Yeah, like this is all completely new to me.
Yeah,
Anything to do with marketing or leads as such, it's all very, very different to what my career has basically been.
yeah, and that is totally fine because if you just have a good idea, and then that's all what counts. And then the technical part also of running these actors in sequence or whatever. Like I said, I chose this platform because it's really easy to do these integrations. You could follow along and try to figure this out, but I hope that other people within our group, because we have a lot of technical people, that we just help each other out. If you have a really good idea for your lead list website, you probably get stuck at some point of these kind of things, right? Where you have to make these workflows really work. That's where I step in, and some other people hopefully also, and just help out to set it up. You either gonna do it yourself then in the end, or maybe someone just jumps in and says, you know what, this will take me 5 minutes of work. I just fix it for you, and then you can have this get going on. Because in the end, what you want for your website is, of course, deliver really interesting kind of leads compared to what people can do themselves, or when they hire a freelancer that does shitty work, so to speak, on Fiverr.com or whatever platform you're gonna hire them. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there, and I think a lot of the people who are watching this, they already get ideas. They already start doing stuff. All just jump into Mighty Networks, share your ideas, use ChatGPT to come up with cool ideas. Make sure that yeah, if you don't have a paid version, you cannot really do deep research. But with Grok, which is the XAI LLM, you can actually do deep research for free. So if you go to, I think, grok.com, or is it grok.ai? Let me just check it out. Not sure. I think it's .com. Yeah. So this is from Twitter or X, Elon Musk, whatever. This is the AI from Elon. You can do research. So you can do, say, deep research, and you can say deeper search. This is, by the way, the free version. I didn't pay for Grok. And I can say whatever. Let's say I type in research on, on speed, client, Apify. You should actually give it way better instructions, but I don't want to waste time. Give me 25 examples. If you're going to do the deep research, it will go over as many resources as possible. You can really tell it like what kind of sources it will use. So you can say go on a list of websites to find this information, or you can say only use research papers or whatever it is. Instruct it correctly and you get really good results. I will, for this thing, I'll just do think. I just want to show you that it exists. So deep research is really interesting. The ChatGPT version of it's called, they all have the same name. I think it's called Deep Research. I think I forgot because I use too many of these tools. But let's just see what it's going to come up with. Oh, this is the play.com, which is a really awesome tool that I spoke about before, which is outside of the program. I will just touch up on it a few times. So within other sessions, I will just mention Clay a few times and I'm going to show some examples, but we're not going to build anything within Clay. But Clay is really awesome. Anyone who listens to it remembers that I said, really go check it out. And go check out the Clay books. These are example projects that you can, or campaigns that you can build within Clay. Yeah, it's thinking, and it's just gonna come up with some ideas of leads using Apify after. This could be useful for people. I would say use a lot of AI to come up with ideas. And then go share your prompts, because this is a really shitty prompt. What you can also do is just let the AI come up with a better prompt. So you let's say, okay, this is what I want to do, for example, this, and then tell the AI, give me the perfect prompt for this using this LLM, so this AI system. And then it will give you a really clear prompt. And use that prompt, and then you do better research, so to speak. Now we have a few ideas of what you could do. So maybe collect data from financial news websites to identify companies that have recently received funding or are planning expansions, creating leads for financial advisors or investment firms. Scrape travel review sites to identify hotels, restaurants with poor reviews, which could be potential clients for reputation management services or travel agencies. As you can see, people ask me like, oh, do we have are there enough niches to create websites for? Yeah, there definitely are. There, I could train like 300 people, and I still would have there would still be enough like options for people to not go into each other to become like competitors of each other. There's enough, and that's why I say use AI tools. Just come up with ideas, read them, you will figure out that, oh yeah, this actually sounds cool. And it could be also something that you're already familiar with, but you just don't know that what is possible. So make sure that when you do a search, maybe give the LLM some information about yourself, your background, the things you're interested in, because building a website and a business around something that you're passionate about anyway or interested in is of course way more fun. You'll be way more motivated to succeed in that. After that, of course, we have to do the research if it's possible, potentially profitable enough, if the market is big enough, etc. But that will come in the next session. We can figure that out. So yeah, that's kind of it for today, I guess. Carl, do you have any kind of questions or something that you want to know from me, or shall we just say this is it and let everyone do their thing?
I think from the main aim of this is sort of cover Apollo and Appify. I would say that this is near enough covered, and well, it's given a bit more of an understanding of what each one is. So for, like I said, for someone like me who doesn't have a background in any of this, I have a bit more of an understanding of what both of them do and how to use them a little bit better.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and I would suggest to really go to do the same thing as I just did with the LLM. And then you will also get more ideas of, okay, this is all possible. And then maybe even ask the LLM, like, for example, if you give it the page, right, for actors to the Apify store, and you would say to the LLM, okay, here, this is the Apify store. Um, now give me, so the prompt that I gave, right, do research on creating any lead, blah, blah, but then better, and just ask the LLM to create a really good custom prompt for you, and then tell it to only come up with ideas where you know that these actors really exist, because LLM sometimes also make up stories, right? But as you can see here, it at least goes through really websites. That's why Grok is actually kind of nice as a free tool. Then you can just say, okay, give me all ideas, but also include the name of the Apify actor. So now you can directly, oh yeah, this sounds like a cool idea, and then you can go to Apify and then check the actor there, and then play around with it. And that's a little bit my tips for everyone. Just go get some ideas going, and please engage with each other and play around with Apify especially, and just yeah, create your first leads, and maybe you actually already have a client or potential to sell it. At least you can directly make money. If you want some leads from me, I also have a lot still on my computer. I never use it. And I can share a lot, and I'm willing to do so. Um, Yeah, I think we can conclude it, right? So the next thing will be the next session, and that will come in, I think, 2 days from now. I think the next session is planned. And then Carl, for you, it's of course like this. I do the next session with the other people in the pilot program, and then you always a day later, right, where we going over like the video that I made with them that you then already watched, and then we do a Q&A session. So we have every time a meeting together where we just gonna do like, I know gonna answer all your questions about the video that you just watched from the pilot, the guys in the pilot program, like the other people. And for everyone listening, the reason why I do this is I will learn the most from this, because Carl, he's at least available, so that's perfect. Just like the other guys in the pilot program, but they will be faster to, you know, to figure everything out because they're technical and they have a lot of knowledge. So they can go through my training the fastest as possible. And then with Carl, I will have this meeting every time about the previous training, and then I can answer his questions, and that is really valuable, I think, also for those that are like Carl, who don't have that much information about marketing or lead generation in general. So I learned the most from, okay, how does someone with limited knowledge things, and what do they need, what kind of answer do they need from me, what kind of help. So I will learn a lot, but I think it's also super valuable for yeah, people like Carl and the rest to just to 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 understand more, because you can first watch the training itself that I do with the group, and then after they just ask the questions, and Carl probably going to ask the same questions as that you have, that other people have, that they don't have that much knowledge about the topic. So I think that's the smartest way for me to do the pilot program. And I hope that everyone who's waiting to join live sessions is okay that I do the pilot program first before I jump into with everyone else. The reason is also I learn a lot from this pilot program. The rest of the training program will be different, right? It will be better because of the pilot program. So I learn a lot from it. I can change like the modules. I can change the topics that I'm going to cover because I will learn from this. I never done this before, so this is all new. Um, And I want to, in the end, have a super good training program, and the only way I can do it is by learning. So that's why this is the setup, and I hope that everyone can accept that, because agreeing is not, you have to just accept it just what it is. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Or do you want to say something, Carl, or want to give some feedback, or have maybe a few more questions?
Yeah, I think like today compared to when we did the intro, we just had a bit more of a structure to it. So
Yeah.
it was clear what today was outlining, and I think that if it just runs similar to that, then I think the program will run a bit more efficiently, a bit smoother, and I think people understand it a little bit more. No, I think today was pretty good. I learned quite a bit. So I'm just gonna, like you said, go off and have a read myself on some of the things that we've just covered and try and come up with some ideas.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the previous things were really chaotic. I just wasn't able to really prepare due to multiple reasons. I actually got really sick like last week. I don't know, last week, this week, both. Yeah. So that was a little bit unlucky actually, because we already crammed everything together in such a short time that we have to produce something, and without actually the help of Kate and Rian, and then also Juno. Then we have also Chelsea and Sabrina. Without their help, I actually couldn't really produce this at all. And then I also got sick, so yeah, that sucked a little bit, because the training that I gave yesterday actually should have been what I do now with you. And also with you, I didn't really plan anything really properly yet, because I moved to another apartment for the internet speed, and then there was no internet. So yeah, it
Yeah,
is just
I
what it is.
didn't get a chance to go through the video earlier, but
Good,
that is
don't.
something that I will be doing. I'll go through the
No,
video for these.
the other video you can forget about it. But
Okay.
also for other people who gonna watch this video and they didn't watch the other one yet, you don't have to, because that one I just rambling. It's just such a worthless video, to be honest. This one is the only one that's actually valuable, and it's also the one that I think people should start with. And then we go to the niche research in the next one, which will be more structured than this one. Plus, people already get some information upfront before actually the video starts. So yeah, every time it will be just more and more structured and better in quality. And in the end, when the real life sessions start, where I learned so much from the pilot, and I will change some of the things, and yeah. So I'm sorry for everyone if it's really chaotic in the beginning, but I think I made some wrong decisions in the beginning to say let's start at a certain date, and yeah, I just had this idea, and I should have maybe done it differently, but in another way, it's also good because people really wanted it, and it forced me to just do it. And if I just only had the idea and I posted it on Reddit, and I had to still like go to work on everything, I think people would not been signing up, right? And then I'll also not feel committed to do it, and I'm probably going to do something totally different. I will just be going back to my own things. So I'm actually happy that it was chaotic and that I'm sort of forced to just go to get stuff done, and because now we're here. So it's been chaotic. I'm sorry for that, but it will be better from now on.
Yeah, great. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you too. Thank you too, and thank you for being here, and also to the rest. And yeah, I think the setup that we have now, I think it will be really good with you also, that that you're gonna jump in every day, a day later after a video that I do with the other pilot participants. I think that's a smart strategy, and we're actually kind of lucky that you're in a time zone where it was difficult to fit you with the rest, because in the end, I think this is the best setup. For you also, it's going to be way easier to follow along. and to really understand everything, because you have sort of a free, you still paid of course, but yeah, you got some like one-on-one coaching in the end, which is pretty cool. And I think the rest of the people who are in your similar situation will also really be happy with it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I
Well, I
expect a lot from this.
definitely just adding on that, if I can help, like my background is coaching as such. I know it's different, it's in sport and whatever, but I do the job that I do because I pass down what I know to other people. So if I can help with that after we've got everything set up and running, then I'll gladly try and help as much as I can. Maybe having not like background in this, I might see things differently to people who do, and then maybe I can help those people who don't have a background similar to me. I'm not sure. If
Yeah, I
that
think
is
so
something
too.
that I can help, then I'll do that as well.
Yeah, that will be super. All help is really appreciated, and I'm already so thankful for yeah, the people that are helping me now. It's really amazing, and I actually don't really ask for anything. I mean, people just jumped in and they're helping out, and they help out so much that I don't even know how to repay them. So I feel a little bit overwhelmed with the help, and I'm really happy with it. And yeah, it's amazing, and I think that's the reason I really did this. I just want to have this community feeling that where everyone help each other out, and we're gonna build something really cool with a whole group of people. And yeah, it seems to work out. So I'm happy that I was forced, sort of, to just get stuff going, and that we're now here, because yeah, we're all gonna do this together, and it's pretty cool. I'm really stoked about it. And now it's finally starting, and with some kind of structure. Yeah, the structure will be every day better. So yeah, I think that's really cool. Really cool. Yeah, so let's conclude this, and then I go to post this video as soon as possible. And I think I have to maybe do some other things when I post it. I'm not sure. I'll just ask my support. I don't know how to call them, but Kate and VM, they're the ones who always work together with me. And I just want to shout out to them, because they're just every day grinding together with me, which is, I don't know, it's crazy actually. So to you guys, you're both are a little bit insane, I think. And thank you so much for the help. And yeah, that was it for today then.
Okay.
And
All right.
see you all soon again.
Yeah. Speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye everyone.